Story 1. Substitute teaching. You do not need any experience, just an associate degree. Substituting is really difficult when done well. Most teachers do not leave clear plans. They will often leave information in shorthand or forget to give you important information because it is so secondhand to them. The students do not respect you and take advantage of your lack of knowledge. Story 2. Home cooking. Anyone can throw something together. But to make dishes that actually taste great and to also have enough of a repertoire so that the family does not get tired of your meals, that requires a lot more commitment. Oh, and just making sure you have the necessary ingredients on hand for decent meals is a skill, especially if you are trying to use fresh ingredients without having them go bad on you. Story 3. A bunch of musical instruments fall into this category, with the most obvious being bass guitar. Yes, it is absolutely easy for almost anyone to pick up an instrument and play Van Halen's Running with the Devil on bass. On the other hand, a good bass player completely changes the feeling of live music. A bar band with a good rhythm section is so much more fun than a guitarist's ego project. Story 4. Leadership and management. The world is full of genuinely poor people managers who have been promoted for all the wrong reasons. Being an exceptional leader or manager is a teachable skill, but it has to come from a place of desire to lead, not simply a pathway to more money. Story 5. Mending. I would add to that the ability to do minor alterations. Incredibly overlooked skills that are very easy to pick up. Story 6. Being able to give good instructions is essential. It is astounding how many people actually cannot do this. Have you ever found a popular cooking website such as the New York Times and wondered why the food is not as good as you might expect? One of the core reasons is that the instructions are probably poor. They often omit steps, assume a certain level of basic cooking knowledge that is not written down, and lead to subpar results. Have you ever read an instruction like, caramelize the onions in 15 minutes? What is interesting is that you can actually caramelize onions quite quickly in about 20 minutes, but it requires a specific technique. This is never explained anywhere. Have you ever read an instruction like, saute onions and garlic for 5 minutes? What is implied, and typically not written out, is that you should not add both ingredients at the same time. If you cook garlic for 5 minutes in a hot pan, it will burn. You should add it in the last 30 seconds. Issues like this are common. The ability to teach, instruct, and effectively package up information is a real skill that many people lack. Story 7. Cleaning, especially home cleaning. Most people do not know how to clean homes efficiently and properly. They either take much more time than required or clean only superficially, if not both. Story 8. Being a competent driver and knowing the rules of the road is essential. It is important to keep your cool when things get frustrating. Whether you miss a flight or your order at the restaurant is mixed up. You would be surprised. Many people can be quite rude at restaurants. Story 9. Truck driving. People drive recklessly around trucks. It takes a considerable amount of skill to protect them from harm and reach your destination efficiently. Story 10. Open a restaurant. It seems simple that everyone can cook and share with friends and family. However, you need the skill to scale it up, from material purchase to presentation to the customer. Story 11. Dancing. Very low barrier to entry. Everyone has a body, and most people have limbs and hearing. But watch some individuals who are very skillful, and it is very impressive. Story 12. Cooking on a line does not require any experience most of the time, but there are many small skills and tricks to learn. Story 13. Learning a second language. Everyone can learn to say hello, but conversing about day-to-day activities is much harder. Story 14. Almost all manual jobs involve construction, repairs, and mechanics. These individuals know more than most professionals. Story 15. I know it is not the same at every company, but being an administrative assistant or an executive administrative assistant usually requires a business degree. However, work experience counts more than a degree. It may seem easy, but it takes a lot of skill. Most administrative assistants have more than one business partner. Multitasking and organization are key. Your job is to make their life easier, take care of the tedious tasks, and manage calendars. If you cannot multitask, stay organized, and adjust quickly to changes, then business slows or stops. Story 16. Finishing drywall. When people see me doing it, they think it looks easy. Laugh out loud. Story 17. 2 answers. Air traffic control. This job is respected, but I still think people underestimate just how hard it actually is. Security. Yes, there are a lot of cardboard cutouts, wannabe police officers, and individuals who do not contribute positively. However, actually good security guards are often versatile first responders, and we usually learn on the job with nowhere near the training that police officers, social workers, and paramedics have. Additionally, noticing the range of hazards, security risks, and security breaches, and communicating that effectively is a genuine skill. A really good security guard possesses many skills. Conversely, a really inept guard can undermine the efforts of the entire team very easily. Story 18. Basically every martial art ever. They really don't think they are underestimating it though. They just start acting knowledgeable without having done anything. Like they think they know some incredible secrets and skills but have never sparred, never hit a bag, and never practiced any techniques with a partner. Even just punching. Everyone takes it for granted, but you do actually need to learn how to punch. Story 19. Fast food register worker, especially for drive-through. Have you ever been served by someone who is actually good at it? It will restore your faith in humanity. Story 20. Actually, just about anything, from hitting a baseball to writing well to woodworking to cooking. To do most things well requires talent, quite a lot of training, and usually a lot of intelligence. For example, I was an English major at an elite university, including being in their writing program, and as a litigation attorney, I spent a good chunk of everyday writing while I wrote and write fiction as a hobby. Although I was the go-to person in my firm for all things writing, I have been frequently requested to review and give comments on the writing of others, including fiction, nonfiction, and legal, and I have been frequently praised for my writing, including by editors and published authors. Still, I consider my writing to be only pretty good, as I have read great writing from Alexander Pope to Tom McGuane and Tom Robbins, and my writing is not nearly as good as theirs. Story 21. Public speaking might look easy, but it is far from it. It requires a lot of confidence, clarity, and the ability to engage and persuade your audience. It is not just about talking. It is about connecting with people, making your message clear and compelling, and keeping the audience's attention. As an introvert, I dislike having attention focused on me, so I always avoid it but admire people who have that ability. Story 22. Singing. Everyone can sing a song, but true mastery of vocal technique and pedagogy is something that takes intense schooling and training. Story 23. Hospitality jobs pay poorly and are seen as what you might do part-time while studying for your real job. I would not last 5 minutes in hospitality, yet I currently earn more than I would in that industry. Story 24. Sewing, mending, and related women's work. It's just a hem. It can't be that hard. I thank God for my tailor and seamstress on a regular basis. Story 25. Recipe writing involves creating dishes that not only taste good, but also detailing the process used to achieve that result. Effective recipes require balancing numerous variables to ensure they are easy and efficient to prepare, while also being adaptable to different conditions such as humidity, temperature, and ingredient brands, all of which can affect the final outcome. A skilled recipe writer understands the food science behind their creations and tests the recipe under varying conditions multiple times before sharing it. Today, it is uncommon to find a recipe that has been tested even once. Story 26. Brewing beer. Hammering your India Pale Ale with a boatload of hops is not impressive. Brew a proper kolsch, then we can talk. Story 27. Many owners love the idea of owning a business, but are not willing or are unable to invest their time or effort. Story 28. In France, university has a very low barrier to entry compared to other venues that can lead to a bachelor's or master's degree. Basically, anyone who gets their high school diploma can get in, whereas engineering schools or business schools require taking a national exam to enter and gaining admission based on your ranking. University also tends to have a low amount of class hours, so you have a lot of free time. As a result, many people choose university after high school because it has a reputation for being easy, and they basically do nothing for the whole year, thinking it is very simple. But in reality, the first year weeds out all the lazy people, as you are expected to do quite a lot of studying on your own during your vast amount of free time. In the end, while everyone gets into the first year of university, the vast majority of people do not make it to the second year. Story 29. Out of over 400 active real estate agents in our area, I would say 20 are truly professionals who add value equal to or greater than their cost. I understand this may not fit exactly, as people often have a low opinion of the average real estate agent. But the good ones can be truly amazing with their market knowledge, negotiation skills, identifying property issues, and understanding local issues and officials. The amount of knowledge required to be skillful in real estate is generally very underestimated. Story 30. Air travel can be much smoother when traveling with an experienced person. You can observe how some individuals become overwhelmed at airports. This stress can increase during travel disruptions. There are better alternatives to standing in line or expressing frustration at others. Story 31. Programming and coding. You go to Google and search for programming for beginners, and anyone can follow any of the videos. However, if you actually dive deep into it, like solving problems, it becomes challenging. Most people do not have a natural aptitude for it. Story 32. Mountain biking provides 6 inches of front and rear travel, 2.8-inch tires, hydraulic brakes, and a dropper seat post. These features will take a lot of effort out of getting down the trail. However, it's easy to become overconfident with all that technology, which can lead to accidents and potentially injuring yourself, as well as damaging that $5,000 bike that is still on your credit card. Story 33. Playing good solid rhythm guitar is harder than most people think and is often underrated as a musical skill. Story 34. I would say drawing cartoons is easy when you get the hang of it, but it is not a normal thing people do on a daily basis. Story 35. Policy, as in public service or government, affects everyone and is always in the news, so everybody has an opinion. Common sense in politics is extremely frustrating because if it were truly that easy, it would have been done already. 7 times out of 10, something that seems at first to be strange has some kind of reason for it, such as interrelationships with other important things or the practical limits of the tools public servants have at their disposal. And the other 7 times out of 10, something may appear foolish, but it is probably foolish for a completely unexpected reason, usually related to the fact that coordinating very large organizations is messy. Source: I am a senior policy analyst. Story 36. Being a music producer, you do not know how much time it takes to master the software you are using. Took me years. Story 37. Tattooing. I am a tattoo artist. You can buy literally everything you need online, but to tattoo well, it takes a lot of practice, experience, and the ability to adapt with minimal preparation, if any. Every client is different, and every body part needs to be approached with different techniques. Different colors have to be handled in specific ways. There are many different configurations of needles, machines, and chemicals. There is much more going on than just tattooing someone for hours on end. It is exhausting on the mind. Story 38. Software development, software as a service, all that jazz. All you need is a laptop, maybe an external screen or 2 shiny lights, and a dark theme integrated development environment and artificial intelligence. Maybe a 6-week boot camp. It's a disaster. I have especially over the last few years almost made a lucrative sub-career just fixing this stuff. Story 39. Every single food service job ever, especially if you have to deal with customers more than anything else in said food service job. Story 40. Data analytics. Everyone can create a report with appealing colors and buttons, but actual good analytics is quite rare. Story 41. Singing. Many people naturally have the ability to sing, but most, even those with some natural talent for finding pitch, are not willing to train, even if they desire to make it their career. Story 42. Cooking involves throwing ingredients together easily, making a dish taste amazing, balancing flavors, and executing perfect technique. That is a skill. Story 43. Cooking a simple fried egg perfectly. Anyone can crack an egg in a pan, but mastering that golden, evenly cooked yolk with no crispy edges is an art. Story 44. I'm not sure, but explaining something to other friends or classmates while doing tasks or preparing for exams boosts your public speaking skills. Additionally, you will double your knowledge on the topic you are explaining. This knowledge remains in your mind much longer than you think. Story 45, voice acting. Anyone can buy a USB microphone and have at it, but to make the results sound authentic and real takes a lot of time, effort, and investment. Story 46, rock climbing. I am certain that a lot of sports fall into this category, but climbing is special. The nuances, the specific strength, and the mental fortitude involved are spectacular. Anyone can climb a ladder, but few can climb a mountain. Story 47, professional cleaning. I used to own a cleaning company. I have had employees damage floors and mix dangerous chemicals. I never relied on common sense. Do not mix bleach and hydrogen peroxide, for example. However, the thing that got most people fired was not being able to see dirt. I had to physically show it to them, which is part of their training, of course. But if you still cannot see the dirt after a month of me showing you, you are gone. Story 48, juggling. It is not too hard to learn to juggle 3 balls, and people can do it for a few seconds. However, juggling for objects or more and maintaining that is exponentially harder than it appears. People who are really good jugglers with 5 or more objects make it look as easy as juggling 3 objects, and the skill required is somewhat invisible. Have a look at Anthony Gatto demonstrating some work on YouTube. Story 49, sailing. I am a horrible sailor, but most people would think I know what I am doing. A real sailor would instantly know I am not good, but hold their tongue and bend over backwards to help me improve. Story 50. Certain trades include drywall work, tile work, and painting. Anyone can do these things, but very few can do them well because it takes a lot of experience to become skilled at them. Story 51, shoot pool. Anyone with quarters at a bar can poke balls around with sticks, but to actually be able to run tables takes a lot of skill and cue ball control. Story 52. Crochet costs all of $5 to get a hook and basic yarn. It also does not take too long to learn basic stitches. If you want to make more than a square, it is going to take time and some serious patience. Story 53. Cleaning. Now hear me out. Cleaning isn't intuitive. It has to be taught to be done properly, never mind efficiently. Genuinely, a lot of people don't even know what clean looks like on a micro level, but they can feel it on a macro level. Cleaning is disrespected and demeaned and is often viewed as feminized labor. However, it is actually central to so many industries and a key component of health and well-being. Story 54. Cooking. People think it is just throwing things together, but making a perfect meal requires a lot of practice. Story 55. I would say learning the pogo stick was interesting because I randomly found one at my grandmother's a few years ago without any help. I started using it and now I am doing all these crazy tricks. Story 56. Sewing, mending, and related women's work. It is just a hem. It cannot be that hard. I thank God for my tailor and seamstress on a regular basis. Story 57. The military. Most look down on us like we are second-class citizens who are too uninformed to do anything else. Story 58. NASCAR. Here is Carl Edwards versus Bernd Schneider. Story 59. The military. Most people look down on us as if we are second-class citizens who are too uninformed to do anything else. Story 60. Cascading style sheets. I am amazed at how many people think they know cascading style sheets because it is easy, seriously face challenges in everything they do, but refuse to learn it properly because it is simple. Story 61. Video games can develop or train almost any skill due to their ability to put individuals in situations that they may or may not have experienced. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.